Hello, this is Duncan and Bernath. It's December 15th, and we are going to talk about Catcher in the Rye.
This is our third podcast.
And we are in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. So, let's start talking about it.
Do you want to talk about what is a theme that you think, or a couple themes you think that are being woven throughout the plot line of Catcher in the Rye so far?
Well, I think there's kind of been so many events happening and so many things going through Holden's mind, so that many themes have been brought up. But I think that one of the main themes that have been expressed a couple times throughout the story that I've picked up is I'm actually not sure. What do you think?
Well, I think there's a couple that stand out to me. One is a feeling of isolation and loneliness. I feel that Holden is always alone, but he's always trying to reach out for somebody, but he just doesn't seem to know how to connect. Whether it's he wants to make a phone call when he gets out of the train station, and he goes to the phone booth, and he's in there for, how many minutes? 20 minutes, and he just can't think of, even though it is 1 o'clock in the morning, he can't think of anyone to call, and he's just desperately lonely and isolated. That's one of the themes. What do you think about that theme? I have another idea.
I think that's a good idea. I definitely see that throughout the story. But also I think that the story is yet to reach the climax, or even hint at what we think the climax will be. And so it's kind of hard to pick up a theme this early in the story.
Have you noticed also a theme, or maybe just something about Holden, that he doesn't respect adults? He seems to think adults are phony. Mm-hmm. Everything's phony. And
I've noticed that.
He doesn't seem to have the support from his parents either. I don't know. Just has this real mistrust of adults. It makes me feel sad for him.
I think instead of physically being lost, I think mentally he's lost, and he's still trying to find himself and find, I guess, what his name stands for.
Do you think one of the other do you think is this enjoyable for you to read?
I personally like reading this because I can really imagine, I guess, just I don't know, this actually happening in real life.
But are these themes enjoyable to you?
These themes, I guess they're enjoyable to me, although they're not enjoyable for him. I think, I guess they really amuse me, and they're really interesting to read about because I guess because they're not the most positive themes. It's going to be interesting to see how he pulls out of the situation, or if he does.
I mean, they're not positive. No, it's a real coming of age story where this kid is trying to figure. He seems to me like he's struggling on the edge of childhood and adulthood, where he really still wants to be a kid so badly, but he's kind of thrown into this adult world with no real leader, nobody to look up to. And to me, it's enjoyable because it's well written, but there's something, just because I have 2 boys in this age bracket, it doesn't feel enjoyable because it makes me feel really sad for Holden. Even though I do think there's a process to growing up for everybody, I hate the fact that this kid's on his own going through it.
All right. Well, now let's
the third question.
Let's go to the third question and do this physical thinking phrase. So we're gonna do. I used to think blank, but now I think blank, and we're gonna explain why we think so. Well, I used to think Holden was. I used to think that he was, I guess, a student who had, I guess, a student who didn't try and, I guess, didn't really have the potential to be a smart kid, or I guess go to the places that I guess a more academic kid would go to. But now, more than I'm reading this, I think that he has the potential to be a really great person, but he's young and he's kind of lost, and I think that he needs to take advantage of his potential and use it to his advantage.
Oh, that's really beautiful. It's true. For me, my visible thinking phrase I used to think is that I've read this book before, and so I'm going to go back to how I used to feel about Holden Caulfield. I read it probably when I was, 18, and maybe I was definitely in a different time, mind phrase then, or mindset. And when I would go back and think about Holden, there's something glamorous about him, and glamorous about him being alone in New York City and leaving school. But now, when I look at it, because I'm a mom of 2 boys around this age, it's just something so pitiful about him. And so I think that is something to think about, is reading a book, especially a book like this. It's a classic. If you reread it at different points in your life, it means different things to you. Yeah, so think about that. If you read this with your kid in 30 years, are you going to think about it differently? Because Holden's going through some things that seem to be racy, like he's drinking alcohol, and he's dancing with women that are 30, and he calls a prostitute, or, he's staying in a hotel by himself. All these things, when you're a teenager reading them, are super exciting and living on the edge and daring. But as a 45-year-old seeing a 15-year-old kid going through this, it's really sad. I think it's really sad. And so, I don't know. Just, this kid's in despair and he's just struggling so much. Anyway, now it's interesting. We can talk about what ideas we might have for the CAS extension to promote reading across the middle school. And you had an awesome idea, because we all know Duncan loves Kahoot.
Alright, so, I have a good idea of, for every assembly that we have, during the assembly, there should be a book assigned for the following assembly, and for the people that read it, there should be a Kahoot in the following assembly, quizzing the kids on this book, which will promote people to read it, because I guess they want to win Kahoots. Everyone wants to win Kahoots.
That is such a great idea.
And it will be promoted to every kid in the middle school, and so it's pretty hard to miss. And
would they get a prize if they win Kahoots?
Yeah, and they'll get a prize of one free book,
or maybe like a homework pass.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I had I don't know much about Kahoot, except for what you've told me, Duncan. I think your idea is a lot better than mine. Mine's kind of like with a group of friends, or even a group of not friends. I don't know. Everyone read one book together that's been made into a movie, and then I guess my idea is more lame. Your idea is more fun, but my idea was kind of like a book movie group where you read the book, watch the movie, and make a bunch of food that relates to that movie, but I don't know. I think yours is much better. But this is so fun talking about this.
Yeah.
So now we're at the end of our podcast, right?
Well, we're almost there, but we have to complete the dinner party.
Oh.
And so this is our first dinner party, and so we're gonna imagine that we're party planners, and we're hired to create a fantastic party and meal based on the context of our book. And we have to discuss 6 questions with our partners over the next 2 blocks, and we're going to start with the first 3 right now.
Okay.
All right. So, which 6 people would you invite to the party?
Like, we can just do it together.
Okay. All right. One historic figure. Who would you pick?
I would choose John F. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah. Kind of good time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as a kid, he's got kind of a racy past also.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be fun to have him at the dinner party. And a celebrity. May I say somebody?
Yeah.
I say he's not alive anymore either, but Andy Warhol.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I can see that.
What family member would you have?
A family member that I would choose to come to the dinner party would be Miles, because that's our cousin. That's our Miles is our cousin, and he's quirky, I guess, like
Holden,
Holden as well. And I think something about the 2 of them, I guess, would kind of click. And I see a lot of Holden and Miles and Holden.
That's a good idea. A friend? What friend would you like to invite? I would invite my friend Maria, because she's extremely well read. And she would just really have fun with this group of people. And what would the invitation look like? What would you think?
The invitation would be, I think to fit this, the invitation would be over a text message.
pretty cool.
You think so?
It's so modern.
Yeah.
Because I only think like in terms of the time period of the book, which there were only payphones then and regular phones and not even recordings. But I like that you're modernizing it. Very much so. I think Holden would like that too if he was still. I wonder what he would be like at this point. You know, if he was in the, growing up in year 2016. I think a text would be awesome. It's a great idea.
And what meal do you think would be served there, and what beverage?
For beverages, I wouldn't want Miles to drink this, but Tom Collins, of course, because that's what he criticized the ladies drinking that he saw in his hotel, even though it was winter. And I would also serve. Would you think it would be a good lunch, dinner, or breakfast?
I think it would definitely be dinner because we hear a lot of Holden in the nighttime, and that's kind of really when he gets into character.
I agree, totally.
So
I think it could be like a sophisticated dinner. Like
I think so as well.
Tom Collins, maybe like a surf and turf steak and lobster, and a simple baked potato. If we're going with time period, garlic bread, and there's something that was a famous dish back then called a baked Alaska, and it's a dish with the meringue on the top that gets really, really big, and then you pour liquor on it, and it blows into a huge fire, and then it burns out. And that would be a big wow factor for this group. Okay, so we've got our dinner party.
Well, that's
I'm ready for dinner now, so I think it's a good closing point for us.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and join us back for our next podcast in
2 weeks
after the break.
Bye.
All right. See you later.